They've lied to you. They've humiliated you. Then they laugh, as if nothing happened, as if your silence makes it okay, as if your patience signals weakness, but deep down, you know the truth. They haven't changed. They're just used to you not pushing back. For too long, you might have thought strength meant forgiving, being the bigger person, always extending grace, endlessly tolerant. But here's the Stoic truth. Mercy without consequences isn't compassion, it's surrender. Some people don't grow from kindness. They grow from distance, from bearing the weight of their actions. If they never face their wrongs, they'll keep hurting you and others. This isn't about revenge. It's about clarity, boundaries, and dignity. In this video, we'll uncover 5 Stoic reasons to let others face the consequences of their choices without guilt, anger, or looking back. Peace doesn't come from fixing others, but from choosing yourself. You've seen it before. They lie to your face, betray your trust, wound your spirit, then return with shallow apologies, forced smiles, and the audacity to ask, "Can we move on?" But here's the truth. An apology after being caught isn't remorse. It's just damage control. True regret doesn't need prompting. Those who are truly sorry don't argue with your silence. They don't rush to fix you for their comfort. They don't see your boundaries as an inconvenience. They embrace the discomfort, knowing forgiveness isn't a free pass, and regret doesn't erase the past. Yet, society glorifies quick forgiveness. Social media, self-help gurus, and pop wisdom urge you to let go, be the bigger person, release resentment. But Stoicism doesn't demand hatred, it demands clarity. It asks you to see the difference between inner peace and opening the door to those who haven't changed. Let's be honest. Forgiving someone who doesn't reflect or earn a second chance isn't healing, it's erasing yourself. Worse, each time you excuse the inexcusable, you teach them a dangerous lesson. They can do it again. They're not cartoonishly evil. Their behavior works for them. Why change if betrayal still grants access? Manipulation wins sympathy, and apologies erase their wrongs. They have no reason to grow. Let's be clear. Forgiveness is noble. It frees you from resentment's poison. But forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. Reconnecting without change isn't healing, it's self-betrayal. When they ask, "Why are you so cold?" I said, "Sorry. Can't we go back?" It's a reminder that broken trust isn't instantly reclaimed. It's rebuilt brick by painful brick. Or you accept the loss. The Stoic response is calm, clear, and drama-free. You lied. I don't trust you. You disrespected me. I need distance. You crossed a line. I'm drawing one. You don't owe them a debate or closure. You owe yourself peace. You set consequences not to hurt them, but to shield yourself from further pain. Let them think you're heartless. Let them call you dramatic. Let them accuse you of being unforgiving. That's fine. Only those who thrive on disrespecting you will feel stung by the boundaries you set. Judge them not by their apologies, but by their patterns. Words are cheap. A tear can be staged. An apology can be perfectly timed. But patterns never lie. It's not a single mistake that defines someone. It's the habits they repeat, despite your countless chances. Think about it. A friend who forgets your birthday but expects gifts and attention on theirs. A sibling who mocks you with humiliating stories at every family gathering, then laughs it off. Relax. It's just a joke. A partner who promises change but crosses the same line, always with a ready excuse. Sound familiar? You forgive at first. They're stressed. They didn't mean it. They're just going through a rough patch. But deep inside, a quiet voice whispers, this isn't a one-off. This is who they choose to be. Over and over. The painful truth is, they're not oblivious. They're strategic. Just enough charm to win you back. Just enough guilt to keep you close. It's like standing in the rain, thinking it's a storm, only to look up and see someone holding a hose. Let me tell you about Evelyn, a kind widow in her 72nd, always sending handwritten thank you notes. Her daughters started visiting more after her husband's death, a hopeful sign at first. She helped with groceries, drove her to appointments, called daily. Evelyn called it a blessing. But then came the subtle jabs, hints about her struggles, sacrifices she'd made. Then requests, can you cover my phone bill? Can you lend your credit card? When Evelyn hesitated, the calls stopped. Visits grew cold. Then, days later, warmth returned, as if nothing happened. This wasn't care. It was a cycle, a pattern. People like Evelyn, kind and conflict-averse, rarely set boundaries. So the cycle repeats, each time carving a deeper emotional wound. But here's the turning point, when Evelyn started tracking every request, every shift in behavior. She saw the truth. This wasn't a storm, it was a system. The same happens in your life. When you stop excusing with emotions and start seeing behavioral data, confusion turns to clarity. Forgiving the same mistake repeatedly isn't strength, it's surrender. A Stoic never sacrifices peace for someone else's chaos. Marcus Aurelius said, if someone can show me I'm wrong, I'll gladly change, for I seek the truth. But you're not obligated to teach truth to those who refuse it. Your job is to see the truth when it repeats itself. Some people aren't remorseful. They're comfortable. They don't want your forgiveness. They want your silence. They want access without change. So what do? Don't argue with their excuses. Don't debate their intentions. Listen to their actions. Actions are the truth. Patterns are the proof. Your peace is priceless. Setting boundaries isn't cruelty. It's clarity, courage, and self-respect. But if you're used to keeping the peace, always yielding, always being the bigger person, saying no feels like a betrayal. You'll wonder if you're the one at fault. Am I too harsh? What if they're angry? What if I lose them? But here's the truth. If someone leaves because you set healthy boundaries, they were only there because you didn't. Let that sink in. Why is setting boundaries so hard? It often starts early. Maybe you grew up in a family where love came with strings, where saying no made you the villain, where boundaries were labeled selfish or ungrateful. So now, protecting yourself feels like letting someone down, but you're not betraying them. You're finally refusing to betray yourself. That's not cruelty. It's healing. Let me share James's story. A 42-year-old father of two. Every Sunday, he visited his aging mother out of love and duty. But each dinner came with a sting. You've gained weight again, haven't you? You looked better before you married. Where's the old James at first? He brushed it off. Then he started avoiding her gaze. Sunday dinners became a source of dread, no longer love. One day, he stood up mid-meal. Mom, I come here to spend time with you. not to be insulted. If this continues, I won't join these dinners anymore. She was shocked, cried, accused him of disrespect. But the next week, she didn't comment on his appearance. She asked about his kids and listened. That's the power of a boundary. It doesn't always end a relationship. Sometimes it starts a real one. Boundaries aren't walls, they're locked doors. Stoicism teaches we can't control others, only ourselves. But that doesn't mean passivity. It means acting with intention. When someone disrespects you, a Stoic doesn't yell, beg, or plot revenge. They close the door, turn the key, and walk away with dignity. Peace isn't silence, it's choosing who enters your space. Practical boundaries protect your mental health. Here's how they look. If you yell, I end the conversation. If you're always late, I stop waiting. If you disrespect me publicly, I won't pretend it's okay. These aren't threats, they're truths about what you'll accept in your life. And here's what you need to hear. Those who love you will adjust. Those who use you will react. But what if I lose them? Maybe you will. But is it loss or relief disguised as grief? If they only stay when you ignore your boundaries, that's not a relationship. It's emotional hostage-taking. No one should treat you carelessly and still hold a place in your life. You're not harsh for protecting your worth. You're not cold for valuing your peace. You're not broken for saying, enough. Boundaries aren't rejection, they're protection. Self-respect in action. Sometimes, they're the most loving act you can offer yourself. We all want to believe in people's best selves, to give them another chance. When you love someone, you hope love can save them. But Stoicism reveals a dangerous line between support and complicity, compassion and enabling. Too often, what we call understanding is just fear. Fear of conflict, change, or walking away. You keep forgiving, explaining, absorbing pain, and calling it love. But really, you're shielding them from the natural consequences of their actions. What happens when someone is protected from consequences? They don't grow. They don't reflect. They repeat. Why would they change if nothing demands it? Picture this, a grown child who borrows money without repaying, forgets your birthday but expects gifts, raises their voice while you stay silent. You tell yourself they're stressed. They'll mature. They just need support. But years pass, and nothing changes. Is the problem them, or your silence that permits it? It feels like love, but it's not. Compassion doesn't mean cleaning up their mess in the dark. It's turning on the light and saying, this behavior stops, and I won't shield you from its fallout. That's hard, isn't it? The moment you set a boundary, they'll guilt you. They'll say you've changed, cry, or claim, I thought you loved me. But Stoicism reminds us, love without truth is manipulation. Compassion without clarity is chaos. Enabling isn't love, it's fear masked as kindness. What's the real cost of enabling? It drains your energy, steals your sleep, erodes your boundaries, and chips away at your dignity. You walk on eggshells, sacrifice your needs, and dim your light to keep them comfortable. Worst of all, it robs them of growth. You're not helping them, you're delaying their reckoning. Ironically, the more you save them from consequences, the more they resent you, because deep down, they know they haven't faced life as a Stoic would. So, how does a Stoic show true compassion? By saying, You're free to choose, but I'm free to respond. I won't stop you from harming yourself, but I won't let you harm me. I care, but not at the cost of my peace. True love doesn't erase yourself or fix their chaos. It holds a firm line with an unapologetic voice. It's the quiet resolve that says, I love you, but I love myself more. I refuse to vanish in your disorder. Ask yourself, if nothing changes, what will this relationship look like in 5 years? What part of you will you lose to keep someone who won't grow? Is that love? Or fear dressed as sacrifice? That question is your compass. Enabling isn't kindness, it's self-abandonment. Bit by bit. You're not obligated to save someone from the pain they've caused. Your duty is to step aside and let them face themselves. Sometimes, the greatest gift is letting them learn without you in the way. Let consequences speak louder than your words ever could. Let yourself be free. You don't need their apology to let go. You need your own decision. There comes a moment when you stop waiting for them to understand, to change, or to offer the apology that never comes. In that moment, everything shifts. You realize you don't need their permission to protect your peace. You don't need their approval to set boundaries or their understanding to be free. The weight of waiting, too many live their lives holding their breath, hoping for recognition, but hope without evidence is a cage. While you wait, they move on, crossing boundaries, shrinking you to fit their comfort. A Stoic would ask, why entrust your peace to someone who stole it? Let me tell you about Carl, a Kiwit, 70-year-old, kind enough to offer coffee to neighbors. His grown son visited more as Carl's health declined, claiming to help. But soon, it turned to control deciding who could visit, what Carl could say, how money was spent. Carl stayed silent, fearing he'd lose his son, thinking love meant enduring without protest. For over a year, he said nothing, until he confessed to a friend, I feel like a guest in my own home. He hadn't set boundaries, not from weakness, but because he believed love meant unconditional tolerance. But love without limits isn't love, it's self-erasure. Carl's story isn't rare, it's yours. Mina. Anyone's who's chosen stress over truth to avoid losing someone they never truly had. Peace isn't given, it's chosen. Stoicism teaches you don't need a reason to guard your peace, just the courage to stop explaining. You don't need to prove someone's toxic or list their wrongs. You don't even need them to understand. Sometimes, the strongest statement is silence, a closed door, an unanswered call, a life lived without needing validation from those who never truly cared. From guilt to freedom. Yes, you'll feel guilty. You've been taught that choosing yourself is selfish, that boundaries are cold, that peace comes when everyone else is okay. But ask yourself, if they never change, what must change in you to find peace? That's your Stoic act of courage, shifting from reaction to liberation. When you stop waiting for their change and start enforcing your boundaries, something miraculous happens. You stop rehearsing responses in your head. You stop craving closure from those who don't value you. You walk lighter, breathe deeper, and rediscover your true self. Unburdened by their chaos, that's real strength returning quietly to your inner core. You don't need their apology, permission, or perfect timing. You just need the courage to choose peace without their approval. Let go of waiting. Let go of wishing. Let go of them. Your peace is non-negotiable. They've lied, disrespected, and crossed lines repeatedly. You stayed, explained, gave them time and trust. But now you see, clearly boundless kindness becomes self-destruction. Forgiveness without consequences is a free pass. Love without self-respect is your slow erasure. They may never apologize or understand the pain they caused. They may never see the you that crumbled in silence. That's okay. You don't need their permission to heal. You don't need their change. You need to stop bleeding for those who never brought bandages. From this moment, you don't chase closure. You become it. You don't seek peace. You guard it. You don't repeat lessons. You enforce consequences. Quietly, firmly, forever. When they ask, don't they deserve another chance? Respond like a Stoic, maybe, but I deserve peace more. If this resonates, if it stirs something in your soul, this isn't just a video, it's your line in the sand. Subscribe to Think Stoic 101 for clarity over noise. Share your boundary in the comments. What line are you ready to honor? Pass this to someone who's been strong too long. Remember, compassion isn't weakness, but it doesn't reserve a seat for chaos at your table. You've given enough.